Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today. My name is Holly, and I'm a senior CSM on the customer service team at LMN. Today, I'm going to walk you through to-dos, what they can be used for, reports that you can run on our software using to-dos, as well as I'll show you a resource in our help desk for suggestions on how to use the to-dos or if you need some troubleshooting advice. So without further ado, we'll get started. Okay, so now you should see my screen. So I've logged into LMN Home and I've logged in and I'm looking at my dashboard here. So when I'm looking at my dashboard, I'm seeing my current to-dos. To-dos are a great way for internal communication. They're more commonly used for your salespeople and estimators as a way to follow up with your leads and your clients. To-dos can also be used for internal communication. So maybe you want to set up the foreman schedule. So you'd like your project manager to, you'll assign them a to-do to set up the foreman schedule. Multiple different purposes and ways that you can use to-dos. Today I'm just going to show you how to set them up and how to report on them. So looking at my current to-dos, this is just showing your to-dos. If I want to have a look at my CRM dashboard, I'm going to have a look at my to-dos at the top, so it's showing me anything that's overdue or up and coming. Furthermore, I have the to-do menu listed here, and this will show me my company-wide to-dos. To-dos can be created in a few different spots, so I'll show you within the client. I'm going to go to Contacts, select a client, and then go to To-dos. When I do that, I'm going to go up to the top right, and I'm going to click New To-do. Upon doing that, I'm going to choose who I want to assign this to-do. The person that I assign it to is going to get an email notification. I'll show you just once I create this where those notifications are turned on. Oh, I won't assign it to myself. We'll assign it to George. I can assign a to-do date as well as include a note. Oh, can't spell today. Upon doing that, I'm going to press OK. Furthermore, I can send it to George's calendar. When I click Send to Calendar, I'm going to choose the to-do date as well as the time that I'd like to send it to their calendar. I can also set a reminder, and when I hit Send, they'll get an email notification that a to-do has been assigned to them. You can see all your to-dos for your customers within the customer themselves, so under to-dos. I'll show you a couple examples of to-dos I have assigned under other customers. So here under this customer, I have a whole bunch of to-dos that I've assigned. I can see the status of those to-dos and what to-dos have been completed. The to-dos are also available now through our CRM app. For those of you that aren't currently using this, our CRM app is available for all iPhone and Android devices. You can download it from your Google Play or App Store. The CRM on the app functions very much like it does on the web base. You're able to enter clients, upload photos with Element Pro, in addition, assign and receive to-dos. When we're looking at the to-do menu, I have an option to look at all to-dos, or if I just want to look at my own. You can also set your view as well. So if I just want to look at urgent to-dos, recently completed, upcoming, and select my view as required. The notifications, in order to be notified that a to-do was assigned to you, you'll need to turn on your notifications. Those notifications can be switched on by clicking the little profile icon on the top right of your LMN account, notifications, and then flipping on these notifications. A lot of owners want to be notified, or project managers want to be notified when leads are assigned. So you can include your email here. I wouldn't recommend including your email under all of these notifications because that would trigger quite a few emails, if you will. So just maybe it's just when leads are assigned. As the owner of the company, you want to know when leads are assigned to your salespeople. Furthermore, with the to-dos, there's great reporting that you can pull. So I'm under the CRM menu. I'm looking at reports. I'm going to scroll down and I can see my, oh, sorry, my monitor's in the way. I can see my to-do export. When I select my to-do export, I'm able to pull for a specified time period. This is a great way if you're rolling out this feature with your teams to ensure that they're actually using it. It's a great way for client follow-up, especially when most of us right now are working remotely, that we're able to stay connected, stay on top of leads as they come in, ensure that there's that follow-up with our clients. You're able to see the contact name as well as who it's assigned to, created, the due date, and the status. When I was referring to internal, you'll see here that I have a to-do for a specific user. So this is an employee that I have set up in the CRM as an employee, and I assigned it to their manager, if you will. So I assigned it just as a notification of a WMIS certification expiry. To-dos can be used for multiple different reasons, that being one of them. They can also be used as a reminder for your contract expiries. You can set to-dos for future. You can also, to-dos will be stored in the software historically. I also wanted to show you a really great resource, which is our help desk. Our help desk is available under Get Help, Help Desk. When you're looking at the help desk, you can search specific topics. So if I want to learn more about to-dos, I can just plug it in and type it in. Upon doing that, I'm pulling up dozens and dozens of articles created by the CSM team on to-dos, if you will. They'll show you anything from how to set up the notifications, as well as some troubleshooting advice, as well as how-tos. Another awesome resource would be the LMN Academy. So if we go to Academy and I log into the LMN Academy, I can get well versed in everything and every feature that the To-Do has to offer. For those of you that haven't accessed the LMN Academy, it's available for all users. You just need to set a password and log in. So if I want to learn everything about the CRM, I'm going to take the CRM course. And scrolling through here, you'll see that there's lessons for to-dos under the different lesson plans that we have here. And I just want to see if there's any questions. Feel free to use the question window in your GoToMeeting. And if you have any questions, please feel free to share them. How are you currently using to-dos in your current operations? What successes or challenges have you experienced with this feature? I'd be really happy to hear some questions on what you love about the to-dos. So I have a question here. What about instructions? What is the difference between notes and instructions? Well, thank you for asking. I'm just going to go back to my to-dos here. They can be used for whatever purpose it may serve for your company. So if you provide specific instruction on a task, then you could use the instruction chat box. And if you prefer to just leave a note, maybe it's maybe a note about the customer where the instruction is about steps to take, and then the note would be specifically for the customer. So to see those, enter notes, enter instructions, those are optional. They'll still show up the exact same way as, they'll show the exact same way. So if a to-do's been assigned, they're not going to show differently a note or instruction. The receiver will receive both notes and instructions. Will notes or instructions be included when you send to calendar? Yes, that's correct. Yeah, so whenever you fill out any information here, both notes and instructions will both be sent to calendar. We'll just pause for a moment, see if we have any other questions. So I have a question about the LMN Academy and how to access it. The question is whether it's a different email and password. So to access the LMN Academy, everyone in LMN has been added. So if you're a subscribed user, a free account or a paid account, you do have access to the Academy. What you're going to do if you don't have your login is you're going to just reset your password. So upon logging in, you'll just you'll click the reset password link, and that'll trigger an email where you'll set up a password specifically for the LMN Academy. It's different than your LMN user account password. You will enter your email that's linked to your LMN account as your username. And I have a question about how do I know when a to-do's been completed? And I'll just show you. You can look in a few different places. You'll also, if you set up this notification under notifications, so when a to-do status has changed, you'll receive a notification that the to-do status has changed. Furthermore, you can look at the CRM, to-dos, and then you can also sort by what's been recently completed. I have a question about the dashboards and whether it shows the company-wide to-dos or just my to-dos, and it shows just your to-dos. So from the dashboard view here under CRM dashboard, as well as from when you upon logging in, the to-dos that you see are to-dos that are associated with your user type. And another question, so when putting in due dates for assignments, I notice they turn red when it's past due. Does LMN then run analytics regarding these due dates, and are we able to access the information? Really great question. We don't have any analytics that we currently run. It could be something that's implemented in the future. At this time, we just have that export report that you can report on to-do statuses internally. Let me just pull. So if I want to look at my to-dos for the month of April, should probably enter April dates. Sure, that's good enough. And this will show me all the to-dos. It's in Excel, so you can certainly filter it and filter by status as well. This would be your internal check and balance to ensure that information is followed up with. I just want to look at my May to-dos, etc. I have another user that's asking how come they don't get notified when a to-do's been assigned to them. And that's likely because of the notifications aren't turned on. So the notifications are specific to each user. In order to receive a notification that a to-do has been assigned to you, it's imperative that you come in here and just check off those boxes. Do we have any other questions? How are people currently using to-dos at this time? Are you using them for client communication, for internal communication? I have a user that says that they use them, as I mentioned, that you can use them for internal communication, so you can use them for employees as reminders to follow up. That's awesome. I'll just kind of highlight that, how that can be done. In order to do so, we need to set up your company as a CRM contact. So that's what I have here. I've created my company. I've just called it internal. And then I'm going to go to to-dos. When I've done that, I can assign to-dos to my specific managers. So this one, for an example, I assigned to George. George, please create the May construction schedule and provide job planners to Jason and Joel's crew. I added this to my test account because I heard the need from it from a user I was working with that was looking for internal communication. So a way that they can communicate through the software. Maybe it's not related specifically to a client. And I have another user sharing that we are currently using them to assign new leads coming in, including adding to-dos to calendar and adding reminders. Awesome. So by doing that, you're covering all your bases. A lead calls in, they speak to your team, they're looking for new work. At that point, you can assign a to-do to a salesperson to follow up with the contact. The salesperson can then assign a to-do to the estimator to write the estimate, and it can go back and forth. It can trickle through a few different departments. I'll just pause for another moment to see if we have any other questions that are coming in. And I just have a question about where to download the CRM app and when it became available. The CRM app became available. It was released end of October 2019. It's available through the Google Play Store as well as the App Store. It's a free app. Any users that have CRM access would be able to utilize the CRM app. And it looks like I have a suggestion here. It would be great if you got client detail when sent to the calendar. I agree. So I'm just going to show you. So what the user is looking for, most likely, I suspect, is that you would get a bit more detail. So you would get the customer's job address and contact information. So with the CRM app, you'd be able to pull that information as needed right within the app itself from your mobile device, but certainly that would be a good suggestion for development. Is there anything that I can show you with the to-dos that perhaps I missed that you'd like to see? Just pause for another moment. Got another suggestion. It would be great to have repeatable to-dos if you're taking suggestions. Thank you, I am. I will note that down. I think that's a really great suggestion. So something that's ongoing, maybe it's ongoing monthly. Would love if LMN synced with Google Calendar and Gmail. Yes, I suppose we would too. I'm not sure about the dev requirements of that. Um, when you accept a to-do, it's going to your calendar, so your Outlook or your Google Calendar, and that's how it's populated on the calendar. So currently we do not sync directly to the calendar. I think that's an excellent suggestion, and of course I can share it with development. So I'll just give it a 2 more minutes here and see if any other questions come in or if there's anything specific I can show you with the to-do features. I'd be happy to answer your questions. If there's no questions after the 2-minute period, we'll conclude the webinar. Pretty quiet group. I'm assuming either you're using the to-dos or I was able to answer your questions, which is really great. Okay, well, thank you for your time today. Thank you for joining me for LMN free webinars. If you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to email our support@golmn.com. I'm going to just show you another document that many of our contractors may not be aware of that's free and comes with your account. So just give me one moment while I pull that up. So in conclusion, I just wanted to show you all that we have our forms library. Our forms library has over 700 forms and processes available for a free download. So those of you that haven't accessed the forms library, it is a permission setting. So you would need to have permission to see that tab. You can click on the tab and then search for specific forms to assist with accounting systems, design build, a lot of our much loved calculators are in there. So like a waste calculator would be in there. I would encourage you to check it out and download to implement within your organization. We also have a few groups. We're available for LMN user groups via Facebook as well as LinkedIn. Our Facebook is really developed into almost like a peer networking user group. So it may not be specifically LMN related, it might just be landscape related, where users are really coming together and finding out best practices or how other landscape industries or businesses handle specific situations. So if you haven't already, I would encourage you to join the LMN Facebook group as well as our LinkedIn group. And then I just wanted to highlight as well that we have software skills to grow and develop with our program. So we have our LMN workshops as well as our one-to-ones that you can book with your account rep that's assigned to your account. And we do have our workshops. Our workshops are geared towards newer users to the software. So it's more or less an introduction to LMN. And then lastly, we have these webinars, which will be running weekly. I have a question. When were the forms last updated? I don't know. I'm not sure when the last update was. I do know that they are being worked on currently to update. I believe that'll be launching this year. And before I conclude, we'll just see if we have any other questions for another moment. Okay. Well, thank you all for joining today. I hope you all have a really great day. Thank you.